Hey, so when I first went on TRT, I was super nervous about giving myself my own injections, just because I've never done that kind of thing before. I don't mind needles that much. I don't love them, but I don't mind them. But giving yourself an injection is a different thing. So I just want to put together a little video of how I did it, because when I was looking around, there are some examples of people using auto injectors and there was instructions, but not a good video. So I'm gonna piece this together and do a little video of my process. So first thing I do, I cleaned my workspace here. So what I have is my testosterone. I got some prep pads. I got syringe. I have an 18 gauge for drawing. I switched to using 25 gauge for injection, and then I got Band-Aid ready. So that's my stuff all prepared. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm doing this week in my right side. So there's the old quad right there. So I'm gonna take one of the alcohol wipes. I always do them kind of right around this area here, right into the muscle. So I just kind of wipe around here. And then I'm gonna take another little wipe, and I'm just gonna wipe off the top of my bottle here. Since this is a bottle I used last week, I'm gonna use up the other half right now. So there we go. Okay, so next I have my syringe. And then I have my 18 gauge needle that I use for drawing. The kind of needles that I like are called lure lock. You just put them in like this and you twist them. Super easy. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is pop the cap off. And then you're gonna wanna draw back the amount that you're gonna be injecting. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 milliliter. So I just draw back to 1/2. I'm gonna take the bottle, push that in. I'm gonna tilt it. I'm gonna push that air back inside. Just helps make it a little easier to draw. Pull my needle down a little bit. Since I'm using everything in here, let's just draw all that in. Okay. Okay, so there's about my 1/2 right there. Doesn't look like there's any bubbles. If you see bubbles, you're just gonna kind of give it a few flicks on the side. And I'm gonna leave that little bit of a gap right there as I change needles. So I now have my 25 gauge on there. I started out doing 22s, which are great because they inject super quick because testosterone is fairly thick. And then I went to 23s, and now I'm doing 25s. And I like 25 just, it's easier to get in. You know, that's the problem with 22s, is that they're big needles, so it hurts a little bit more, a little more scar tissue. So I use the 25s now. And so what I'm gonna do, you'll see there's that little bit of gap. I'm gonna go ahead and push that up, just very gently, until I get a little bit of a drip out of the top of the needle. Pushing that air out, there we go. So here we go, back in the old leg. And let's find a good spot. Let's see if I get a good one on the first stab. I like to look around, make sure I'm not going into any veins that I can see. And here we go. This one just doesn't want to be cooperative today. There we go. So I'm sure people have been doing this for years. A little more gung-ho about the injection. I go pretty darn slow. Since I'm using 1-inch needles, that's why I'm going in pretty far. And now I'm going to just draw it back just a tiny bit, make sure no blood comes out. That means I just know I'm not in any veins. And start pushing it in. Use my other hand too. And since it's a 25 gauge needle, it's pretty slow. Yep, there we go. That one went super well, which is nice, because sometimes you'll hit capillaries, or sometimes you get a little nerve going there, and that feels shitty. So you don't want to do that. And just a teeny little spot there. Just gonna toss a Band-Aid on there. So the last thing will be just to dispose of everything. This is done. I'll take the needle off of the syringe and take these two and put them in a sharps container. Just don't throw them in your trash. That's not responsible. And throw all the rest of the stuff away. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I hope so. Because again, when I was starting to do this, I was a little bit nervous the first time, and a nurse had me going the first time, and she helped me do it myself, and been doing it ever since. And coming up on about a year. Awesome decision doing this. I recommend anyone who If you feel like you're in need of it, go to your doctor, get it checked out. It's a real thing. Guys have a hard time talking about this, but if you're starting to feel those symptoms that you always hear about on those commercials, please do. And get blood work done once you start doing this or any other steroids or anabolics or anything. Get blood work done every 3 months. Make sure your numbers are good. Make sure your prostate levels are good, your blood counts, things like that. It's really important. As if you're doing this for health and to feel good, or even if you're doing this to increase your performance, do it the right way. So, see you later.